workflow tools can be powerful, but also overwhelming if you're not technical. I've been building finance workflows in NAN, Claude Code, and Codex for a few months, and they work well, but they require some coding, configuration, and a lot of setup. Claude Cowork takes a completely different approach. You describe your process in plain English, and it builds the workflow for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take any finance workflow you already do and translate it into a Cowork plugin and have it running in minutes. And I'm giving you the exact template I used to do it, free. I'm Carolina, 25 years in FP&A across multiple industries and continents. I've been stress testing every AI tool I can find to figure out what actually works for finance professionals. Coork is the first one that makes AI workflows really accessible to anyone. Let me show you how it works. So let me give you some context. If you try using ChatGPT or any AI tool for finance work, you know the frustration. Every time you start a new conversation, you're explaining everything from scratch. Here's my chart of accounts. Here's my expense categories. Here's how I format numbers. Here's how my fiscal year looks like. You do that 5 times and you think, there must be a better way. And there is. That's what a workflow solves. In a workflow, you set the context, you connect your tools, and you put the output structure in place. Everything runs the same way every time. But creating a workflow in tools like NAN seems harder than it actually is. And there's a steep learning curve. Now enter Cowork. Let me show you what I mean. This is Claude Cowork. You find it in the desktop app, and with a paid subscription, you see in the top not only the chat, but Cowork and code. Over here, you've got your plugins. You can use the ones that come built in, but the real power is creating your own. When you create a plugin, you're basically telling AI, here's who I am, here's how I work, and here are the things that I need you to do. It remembers all of that every time. So instead of a 10-minute setup conversation, you just type a / command and you're working. A plugin for finance, for example, has a few key pieces. It knows your role and your context. It stores your chart of accounts and your expense categories. And most importantly, it has / commands. Those are your workflows. You type my reconciliation, for example, and it runs the whole process your way. You type my close and it walks through the month-end steps. You define the workflow once and it runs the same way every time. That's the difference between having a conversation with AI and actually having a tool. So here's the thing. When I started building workflows for my own FP&A work, I kept forgetting stuff. I'd set up a reconciliation workflow and realized I forgot to include the tolerance rules. Or I build a close checklist and leave out the variance threshold. So I created a template for myself, a guided prompt that walks me through everything I need to know so I don't leave anything out. Now that Cowork is out, I decided to adapt the template into a plugin creator. It's organized by section and it has placeholders for us to fill in. It covers the workflows I use most in FP&A, and I've been using it for a few days now and testing it in other tools, and it just works. So I figured, why not share it? Let me walk you through it. The first section is your role and context. Your industry, company size, the tools you use, the fiscal year, currency, how you format numbers. Everything the plugin does will reference this. Then you have your chart of accounts. If you use 1,002 1999 for assets, 4,000 for revenue, you put all of that here. Same thing for expense categories. The more specific you are, the better the plugin performs. These brackets right here are placeholders, so you can replace all of them with your information. Now the good part, workflows. There are 8 templates here. Bank reconciliation, monthly close, variance analysis, cash flow forecasting, invoice processing, financial statements, tax prep, and budget building. Of course, I try to make them very generic here, but you can adapt to your reality. That's what I do with every client. So you keep what applies to you and delete the rest. Look at the reconciliation one. It tells AI step by step, match the amount, match by date, within tolerance window, match by vendor, flag anything that it's not matched, categorize the discrepancies, give me a summary, and you can change any of it. Your tolerance, your matching rules, your output format, it's your workflow. And at the bottom, there are the safety rules. Never never auto send or auto post anything. Nothing gets sent without your approval. Uncertain items get flagged. All outputs are draft until you say they're final. Human in the loop, always. So let me show you what to do with this. I take my fielding template. Of course, this one is not personalized, but I just want you to get the idea. So I take the whole thing and I copy. And then I come here, click the plus and create with Claude. And now I'll paste the whole thing right here and click let's go. Of course, I'm not gonna do this here because it's not personalized, but I just want you to have an idea. At the end, Claude will give you a zip file. You can now upload that zip file right here and your plugin will be installed. And once it is, this is how you see it. You see all of the commands and the details on the commands, and you see also the skills that you are pulling from the plugin. So we have here some basic skills on this one that I created. So you can see here, for example, this one, the 3-statement build. I have exactly the format that I want my 3-statement to be done. So I have here the format, I have the rules for each one of the statements, I have some critical checks, I have how the cash flow statement is done, I have critical checks also for the cash flow statement, working capital, some formulas, what is expected. I have all of the details, so Claude will know exactly what to do when I ask for the 3-statement build. So I come here, I find my plugin, and here are my commands. So I want to build the statements and I click let's go. So you see here that it added a bunch of tasks on this list so we can follow the progress and see what it's going to be doing next. So there you go. Now you'll be able to see the 3 statements that it has built for us and in the exact format that I asked for. Here's the income statement, the balance sheet, and I can see it's balancing and the cash flow statement. There are a lot of empty cells right here because I didn't execute the prior process, which is the accounts receivable and accounts payable. But you have here all the verifications and the key metrics that it's going to probably fill up as soon as it has everything. This is awesome and it means so much to build a full workflow in a plugin. Just you have to iterate with it and make it better and improve it every time you run it so you get the best of your workflow. Now let me say something that I think is important. I know a lot of you are in companies that haven't figured out AI yet. Maybe you're locked into Copilot. Maybe IT won't approve new tools. Maybe your company is still in the we'll get to it eventually phase. I get it. And here's what I've seen. This space is moving fast, really fast. The professionals who are going to be valuable in 2 or 3 years are the ones catching this early, not the ones waiting for their company to hand them a training program. Because when your company finally does figure this out, and they will, they're going to look around in the room and ask, who's already doing this? Who knows how to do it? And you want to be that person. So don't sleep on this. Cowork is one tool, NAN, Claude Code, Codex, or others. They are more flexible, but there's a steeper learning curve. It's incredibly powerful. The tool doesn't matter as much as the mindset. If that means spending $20 a month on a personal subscription, do it. If that means experimenting with fake data on your own time, do it. If that means just understanding how these tools work so you're ready when the time comes, do that. The people who start now will be leading these conversations later, not sitting through them. One last thing, before you build any plugins or automate any workflow, make sure you understand your own process first. What accounts do you use? What steps do you follow every time? If you cannot describe your process clear to an AI, you probably can't even describe it to a new hire either. The plugin just forces you to write it down, and that makes you better at your job, whether you're using AI or not. Process first, tool second, always. Download the Finance Plugin Builder prompt from the link in the description. It's free. Start with fake data if you need to. Just start. And if you want a place to practice this stuff alongside with other finance professionals who are figuring this out too, join Tactic Lab. It's free for now to get started. Link below. If this was useful, subscribe. I'm putting out more of this every week. See you in the next one.